maps where clearly the property value on the left side is much more valuable than the one on the right side.
You got to know your buyer, though. Someone very dark, a dark nerd, maybe the right side you can charge almost as much.
Maybe. In the upper right, the hardest player Artosis and I have ever had to cast for because he is so good at multitasking.
That's so GuMiho.
And I'm serious about that. I'm watching our observer try to keep up with GuMiho. I'm watching Artosis on the preview screen try to keep up with GuMiho.
Yeah.
All right. In the bottom left, barely winning that last game via a Broodlord push despite losing his main, he is
MVP DongRaeGu.
This is the good Zerg song he's playing.
Yeah.
This is one where I imagine a little Zergling hopping on different xylophone keys. It's like a giant xylophone. All right.
This is where he gets a speed upgrade.
Yeah.
All right, so GuMiho, what will you do this game, sir? I think Reactor Hellions, one of the best openings for this map, no doubt about it. Definitely could see that here. DRG, of course, we already know how he'll open because with Zerg, you go hatchery first against Terran because there's nothing else. If you don't, then all they do is turtle. And yeah, GuMiho is getting a gas very quickly, so it does look like it's probably going to be Reactor Hellions. It's the best opener on this map, really. Let's just be honest with ourselves, Stasis.
All right. I don't know why I lie to myself all the time.
I know. You're like, no, you didn't. It's not the best build in this map.
It's not the best build.
Reaper
I'm like, what about this? What about that? It's like, dude.
Not really, man. I mean, they're good, but not the best. I'm trying to think of a player that is harder to cast than GuMiho. And I think I found it. Someone that is completely terrible. Because then we're like, what do we even say? This is bad, and they won't leave the game. That's actually harder because GuMiho at least is a lot of fun and we're excited.
Yeah, yeah. No, actually, yeah, somebody who's terrible is actually the worst.
It's hard, man. Well, terrible in like a pro tournament.
Yeah, not like
it could be fun to cast like a low level player and have fun with it.
Yeah, would turn into something else. But
it's like, what do I do when he's like in the GSL? I'm like, schnurf,
schnurfs. All right, spawning pool almost complete.
Must-win situation for DRG, but winning that last game really gives him a lot of hope because now he says, okay, if I win this one, then we just play a best one to decide it. You got to look at it optimistically, Tasis.
GuMiho has this really astounding stamina in the game.
Yeah.
There's these players that we cast, and you can just see them burn out.
Yeah.
Their brains just sort of shut off. And
it's like they just had a turkey dinner after game number 2.
Yeah. It's like they ate Thanksgiving to get dinner.
Yeah. They're all full. They
what's
just want
that
to lay on the couch.
Turkey? Tryptophan? Tryptophan.
What are those drones doing?
I don't know. Transferring back for some reason.
Yeah, it makes
I think
sense,
just so the Hellion doesn't get over there.
Exactly. You're right. He's like, all right, let me fully saturate that main. 16 drones on the minerals. Less drones out in the open that can possibly be roasted. It's a good choice, actually. Really good one.
Note, only one drone mining gas. Very calculated. I would recommend to anybody who's learning StarCraft, never try that only one drone mining gas trick.
No,
it will mess you up. Just keep 3 on until you are like high masters.
Yeah, and then you can
understand.
That's actually a really good tip. It's really smart to give that tip.
Well, I've seen people do it where it's like they can't even make units. They have like one drone in the gas, and they're like, no, I saw DRG do it. And I'm like, oh, listen, man. Like,
yeah, I just
put 3 in there.
It's a really high level move. So we actually have the Marauder Stim Hellion push that's going to come out of GuMiho. It's not an all-in variety at all. He's probably going to go with 3 Marauders. And I mean, the Marauders basically they tank damage very well and they take down spines very quickly. Oh, very
Getting
nice.
some SCVs.
That is such an annoying thing, and he sees the Marauders. He is now.
He lost all the
SCVs.
SCVs.
Yeah. Check. He's killed 7 SCVs, man, and he's seen the Marauders. So all he does now is make additional spine crawlers and play a normal game. He's in fantastic shape. In fact, he's throwing up 3 more spines, and that's enough. He's going to have 4 spine crawlers, handful of speedlings, couple queens. It's all good. DRG has no chance of dying to this. Meanwhile, GuMiho has had he's going to have no chance to actually do any damage. So this whole opener it's whiffed. It's not doing anything. It's completely botched. And his economy is in shambles.
So, as Artosa said, guys, if DRG loses this, it's DRG's fault right now for this phase of the game.
Yeah, and in fact, he's making so many spines just because he knows that he is so far ahead that he can absolutely invest extra in the spines. All he has to do right now is stay alive, and his lead will continue to grow.
So we very well could go to game number 5.
Oh, yeah, there's a very good chance of that. This is the way DRG rolls, man. He goes, he almost loses a series, and then he comes back and then loses it in the final game. That's how he rolls. Did it against MMA. Will he do it against GuMiho?
Now, not much happening just yet. We're sort of waiting to see what GuMiho is going to do now that his plans have been spoiled.
Well, you know, he's adding a lot of reactors right now, going to get a lot of Marines out, going for a starport.
You know,
looks like he's trying to transition into
normal play. He keeps letting these Zerglians come in here. I'm getting surprised he hasn't caught on to this pattern.
Yeah, his Hellions are all over the map.
Nice stop position, Micro.
Very nicely done. And he's going to go ahead and scout instead of try to kill anything else. Maybe try to kill an SCV once he's seen everything. Really great moves by DRG. How active he is with these Lings are basically winning him the game. They're scouting. He knows everything that's going on. He continually kills off SCVs. It's everything you could dream of as a Zerg player.
Yeah, Zerg is one of these races that the more you know, like, the better.
Yeah, you have to scout.
And it's always these little things. You're just trying to collect information. That's why it's going to be so interesting if DRG goes up in the finals against Genius because of the way that the Genius presents information.
Look at this, a flank with Hellions. Beautiful move by GuMiho. He knew where those links
GuMiho
were.
sort of let those get away.
DRG is so solid right now, and it looks like he's actually going to go up to Infestation Pit. Already upgrading his Zerglings. Looks like it's going to be a somewhat similar style before. No Roaches this time, though. Roach is not the best unit against Terran.
The Hellions coming down now. He's probably going to scan here and take out the creep. I would assume he is, but we will see. It's up to you, GuMiho.
Pushing out. He does have stim. He does have combat shields, and he has a lot of Hellions. So Zerglings themselves won't do a whole lot, but there's a lot of spine crawlers here once again, and those spine crawlers are going to make this something that he can't really break. And look at this, another Ling counter. Just reducing
this Ling counter is actually possibly going to win DRG the game.
I mean, they have been amazing so far, man, these Ling counters.
But what's funny is that the GuMiho has never really adapted to it. It's like he's refusing to accept the fact that DRG could just keep on countering.
Yeah.
19 workers killed.
I think
we're slowly watching GuMiho get more and more behind.
He's making another command center. I was going to say, I think there's a possibility here that he'll go all in somehow. But he's not going to. He's actually just continuing to play somewhat normally. And he's actually... GuMiho is going to scout this additional base, the third, and he might get a cancel on it. The Infestors are on the way, but with only Lings, it's going to be hard to take out those Hellions. And in fact, he's just going to run away from the hatchery with the Hellions, man.
All right. Hatchery going down now. Third base on the way here. Oop. I always feel like when I see the Infestors burrow and move, it just reminds me of a submarine.
That's true.
Submarine nerds.
Well, there's subterranean nerds.
Subterranean nerds. Okay, now he might try to have a trap here.
Oh, yeah, he wants to pop up, fungal that, surround with Lings. Be a perfect move.
Oh, we might have to have a cancel over here. Nice save there by GuMiho. All right, it's happening, guys. GuMiho's at the point in time where he could start doing all sorts of stuff. Oh, and he's sneaking right by those Hellions.
Oh, you know what? He might be going over here to just kill off the command center with all the infested Terrans. That's kind of what it's looking like.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah, that is going to be a lot.
He says, all right.
But there's a lot of Marines there with medevacs.
This is a good response to a player like GuMiho, who's just all over the place. Nice.
Wow, absolutely fantastic moves by DRG here. And a ton of infested Terrans. GuMiho's in a lot of trouble, but in the meantime, he is killing off the third of DRG. Can he hold? Can he stabilize?
Oh my God, more infested Terrans coming out here. Vegetarians, by the way, very strong units.
Yeah, they do have that +2 carry base
Okay,
as well.
I think GuMiho might be dead. Yeah,
GG. Oh my god, DRG on the comeback trail once again. What a comeback Zerg.
Comeback nerd.
Could we have an all MVP finals?
Could be. Wow. Well, that game, DRG played so much better than GuMiho. In fact, I will even go so far as to say that GuMiho played poorly.
Yeah, you know, that was the game where DRG was all over the map. He just kept running with Lings. GuMiho's trying to be everywhere at once, but when he's everywhere at once, the only place he isn't
is in his base.
Yeah,
in his base, yeah.
Really nice moves by DRG that game. GuMiho, a little bit flustered after that loss. You know, he was up 2-0. He's like, oh my god, this lost 2 in a row. Why can't I just
This is something
finish
that's
this?
terrible that I'm sure you've experienced and I've experienced as well when you're in a tournament and you lose. Like you win the first 2 games in a best-of-5, and you're like, "All right."
You're like, "This is so easy.
I got it.
I gotta
This
win
nerd
1
is
out
dead.
of 3. LOL, so easy." And then it gets to the game 5, and you're like,
yeah, and you're like,
your opponent's on a roll. He's feeling like he's angry. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna rip this nerd's face off." And you're like, "Oh, how am I losing? How is this happening?"
It is actually a terrible feeling because, you know, GuMiho could have been, this show, for instance, could have ended earlier today. GuMiho could be out celebrating with a bottle of soju, but instead, he's now saying, oh man, is this going to be, I am all the way to the semifinals, but if I could just get to the finals.
Yeah. Top 4 is pretty good, man.
But
you know
top
what?
2 is
That's where it
really
matters.
good.
That's the real monies, the real fame.
Money. All right. Can DRG do it, or is GuMiho going to go back to like his style in game number 1 and 2 of not dying? Game number 4, what we just casted,
Metropolis.
Metropolis. Metropolis.
Yeah. I feel like you know, this is gonna be a nice map for GuMiho.
I think so.
I've liked his style on this map in the past. For DRG, you know, there's going to be points where GuMiho's pushing at chokes that are going to be very hard to break. I want to see what type of style he's going to use here.
All right, it's really going to be a question of stamina. Who will move on? GuMiho or DRG? We're going to find out here in the GSL. Code S, where the greatest StarCraft players in the world duke it out for money.